Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know the difference between catechesis and faith formation? All people, by their very nature, should be lifelong learners, especially in the area of their faith and spirituality. Learning actually broadens and enhances our understanding of things in such a way that it opens up to new perspectives and new ways of looking at things. And in our faith tradition, that helps us to become more aware of our faith and helps us to appropriate ourselves our faith for ourselves. Theology, in our tradition, theology is faith-seeking understanding. So you strive, whenever you strive to understand your faith and to strive to know what your faith is all about, you're actually doing theology. So in that sense, we are all theologians, because as we strive to learn more about our faith and understand it better. Catechesis, by its very nature, comes from a Greek word called echo, to echo. In other words, to respond back to the teachings that we have been given. And it's essentially a learning of the teachings of our faith in such a way that we belong to the community and appropriate that teachings for ourselves. Catechesis should always be in dialogue with theology, because in so doing, church teaching and theology should be hand in hand. In other words, theology helps to particularize and concretize church teaching in the life experiences of people. And as a result, there should constantly be a dialogue between theology and catechesis for greater growth and understanding and development of catechesis. Since the Protestant Reformation, unfortunately, the Catholic understanding of catechesis became a very restrictive one, in the sense, and it took on a very defensive mode. And this defensive mode established the fact that somehow or other all the Protestant reformers were wrong, and Catholics were the only ones that had the truth, and there was only one way to understand and unpack that truth. And this led to, unfortunately, a series of instructions that became known as apologetics, which actually led to what I would call a stunting of the faith, because apologetic became extremely restrictive, essentially a defensive mode, where you were taught how to defend any teachings of the church from any attacks that were laid upon those teachings, especially from the Protestant reformers, who we were convinced were all in error and were all heretics and so on. So a better term, really, since the Second Vatican Council, catechesis has taken on a broader and much richer significance and meaning than it had previous to the Second Vatican Council, simply because it moved away from the defensive stance of the Protestant Reformation and reaction to it. A better term to actually use in understanding catechesis would be adult faith formation. Now, adult faith formation is more broad and more expansive, in which we, as adult faith learners, are engaged in the richness and the diversity of our traditions. Adult faith formation is training in the faith that is much more holistic, not just based on concepts, but also based on actions, ritual, interactions, the building of community, and so on. So it's a holistic approach and understanding of what catechesis is all about, and exposes the learner to the richness and diversity of the tradition that has existed in for 2,000 years, the wisdom that has been handed down to us, leading to the insight that we have not always done things this way. There are many ways in which we have done it, and many ways in different ways in which we understood our own teachings and our own traditions and so on. It speaks more, adult faith formation speaks more to my appropriation of the teachings of the church, which are more in tune with my understanding of the life experiences and what I know about what is going on in the world today. And so it's always, adult faith formation includes catechesis, but goes way beyond it in terms of exposing the learner to the richness and the diversity of our tradition, enabling the learner to then seek and understand the richness of the faith better, and hopefully leading to their appropriation of the faith based on what they feel is speaking to their own understanding of life and their own relationship to God. The richness of this adult faith formation really then helps the learner to really broaden their perspective and make the choices that they feel is best for them in their relationship to God and their relationship to their Christian community. So ideally, catechesis and theology should always be in conversation and dialogue with one another, leading to an enrichment of the catechesis and a greater development and hopefully an advancement of the theological principles that will help the dialogue with the catechesis. So I hope this has helped to understand just a bit of the difference between catechesis and adult faith formation, as well as how two of them work together to enhance and enrich one another. And I hope you'll return again to more Do You Know series questions to broaden our understanding of our faith and our traditions. Thank you.